First up on the list is the game-changing trend of AI-powered editing. We're starting off with some very useful tools, the AI-powered color grading and AI background removal. And one tool that I love and use all the time is called Runway. It has both of these tools. So here, if I go into my Runway homepage, you'll see a bunch of tools that are available under popular AI magic tools. Let's first go to the color grade. And here you can upload any footage that you want. And just by typing out a text prompt here, Runway will generate a new color grade for us. And once you find one that you like, you can export this out here with the new color grade applied, or you can download the .cube file, which is the LUT that can be used in any type of video editing software. I prefer to apply the LUT in Premiere Pro using Lumetri Color because then I can further tweak the color after the LUT is already applied. So the text to color grade is still very much in its infancy, but I can imagine it's only going to get better and better over time, and maybe in the future it'll also have effects applied. So for example, make this video look like it was shot in 1990, for example, to have a little bit more of a retro effect. That's probably the future of where this is going as well. So masking and rotoscoping out subjects inside of your video is a very tedious and time-consuming task. And the benefit of AI-powered editing is that it helps save you time, right? There's been a bunch of different softwares out there that have now integrated faster, newer masking tools such as CapCut, RotoBrush 3.0, and then Runway also includes a really simple to use background remover. Here, just like before, you can just upload your footage and then you can click whatever you're trying to mask out using these green dots. And then Runway will do its magic and it will track your subject as best as it can. But if at any point it starts to get confused, you need to add more green dots, or you can go up here and you can click on this exclude button to select any part of that video that you want out of the mask. After making any adjustments, you can just hit play here and then Runway will come up with a better mask. Now, once you're satisfied, you can export this video with a green background, or even better, as a .mov with a pre-cut alpha channel, so you don't need to waste time trying to key out the green inside of your software. In this past year, text-based editing has become more powerful than ever. In Premiere, I can throw in this clip into the timeline, and if I check out the text tab, you'll see that it automatically is transcribing everything I'm saying in this video. Actually, if you go into Preferences, Transcription, by default, you'll see that Premiere will transcribe every clip you import into the project. But if you only wanted to affect the clips in the timeline, you can choose this option. Now, back into the text panel, we can edit a talking head video by selecting and deleting any repeated takes or unwanted text. And all the changes will reflect inside of the timeline as well, like a regular cut. Now, this is really convenient, right? Because you can edit your video like a Word doc. Well, it gets even more convenient, because now inside of Premiere Pro, you can also detect filler words. So you can easily select all of them and delete. And same with the pauses. You can detect the pauses from the settings, and it's just a quick way to delete all of them and easily tighten up all of your A-roll to get your rough cut ready. Besides the text panel, one of Premiere Pro's most exciting AI features is the new enhanced speech, which at the time of making this video is still in the beta app only, which you can open up and try out right now from your Adobe Creative Cloud desktop app. But basically, it's designed with a click of a button for you to immediately clean up and enhance audio in your timeline. So here I have this clip of me talking on a very noisy beach. So right now I'm on the beach. I can open up the Essential Sound panel and select Dialogue, and on top you'll see this Enhance button. When we click it, let's hear how it sounds. So right now I'm on the beach and I'm using my iPhone mic. It's pretty incredible what it was able to salvage and remove all that background noise, yet still maintain pretty high quality speech. If you feel like the AI is making it sound a little bit too robotic and tin canny, you can actually reduce the mix amount here until it sounds a little bit more natural. So right now I'm on the beach and I'm using my iPhone mic, the built-in mic. And, you know, there's a lot of noise happening around me. And by the way, I'm Kelsey, and I've been sharing tips, tools, and resources for video editing here on Premiere Gal since 2016. So if you want to get better at video editing or just brush up on some skills that you need some review, this is definitely the right place to be, and welcome. And if this video is helping you out so far, be sure to give it a thumbs up as well as subscribe. Also, I'm developing a brand new course on mastering AI video. So if you want to join the waitlist, you can go to premieregal.com/AI so you're the first to know when the course is ready. I have another AI tool hidden in plain sight. Can you see it? It's right here inside Envato's plugin, which is powered by AI Search. So with this free plugin here in Premiere Pro, you can use keywords, and AI will help find the right footage for you. What's so awesome is being able to use Envato's plugin here to find music, sound effects, and stock footage that matches the current vibe of your edit in your timeline. Just move your playhead to whatever footage or sound you already have inside of your sequence, and in the plugin, just hit the search button and Envato will help you find similar assets that fits the vibe of your project. You gotta try it to believe it. The plugin itself is free to download and try out inside of Premiere Pro, but if you want to download the non-watermark version of all the footage, you need to subscribe to an Envato Elements subscription, which gives you unlimited access to download as many different assets as you want. And using my link below, you can get 70% off your first month to download as much as you need. A huge thanks to Envato Elements for sponsoring today's video. And now let's check out to see what's next on the trends list. Next up is AI-generated text-to-video stylizations. Now you've probably seen plenty of normal-looking videos being transformed into these crazy stylizations with the help of AI, kind of like these dancing videos. I feel like there's new companies coming out every month, if not every week, that have these new types of tools, which is text to video tools. But the tool that I use most is by Runway Gen 1, which allows you to stylize existing videos, such as turning a normal video into an anime style, for example, or into a Vincent van Gogh painting. And they came out with Gen 2, which basically allows you to generate a video from scratch. So you can just type in text and it will generate a video without an existing video. And earlier this year, I actually produced an entire animated music video with the help of Gen 1. You should definitely check out the behind the scenes video that we made on the entire process. So let's make our own Statue of Liberty dancing video to show you how it works. From the Runway homepage, let's click Gen 1. Here I can drop in a stock video I have of this person dancing. Here we can tell the AI what to generate using any photo as a reference. Make sure that you have the rights to use that photo, of course. Or you can use one of their style presets, or better yet, you could just give it a text prompt that you come up with. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Down in the settings, we can tweak the style's strength. But what's cool is if you hit this advance button, you'll have more settings like having AI work on just the foreground or the background, for example. Before generating, let's hit preview styles to get a still frame preview of what the final product will look like. Once you find the preview that you like, just hit generate. It's just going to take a few minutes, and now let's see what we got. The result turned out pretty decent, considering that this technology is still very new and very much in beta. But if you want to get some better results, you can also try out tools like Warp Fusion. But it's a lot more complicated. Runway makes it a lot easier to use, but if you're feeling like a challenge, might as well try it out. Now, this isn't necessarily a trend from this year, although I've seen it a ton. But in the past few years, you've seen creators experiment with a variety of different nostalgic filters and retro effects on top of their footage to evoke kind of a camcorder 90s vibe, even a film vibe from like the early 1900s as well. I think that this is trendy right now because it captures the viewer's attention who like to take a trip down memory lane. There are many different ways to achieve this effect because there are so many different older types of cameras to try to emulate and mimic. An easy way to do it here inside of Premiere Pro is to use the channel blur effects and then add blur to the reds, then add the noise effect, and that's it. Or for another look, you can use the VR chromatic aberrations effect to get that 80s color separation. Then we can finish this up with some vintage LUT and it's looking pretty old to me. You can utilize all these effects and combine them to produce any type of look that you want. If you don't want to do this manually, there are plenty of different overlays that you can apply directly to your footage, and some of my favorite overlays come directly from Envato elements. Let's open up the Envato plugin here, and let's download some vintage overlays, and let's try them out in our timeline. First, let's place it on top of our footage. To see through this overlay, we need to change its blending mode to either multiply to get rid of the bright areas in the image, or screen for the dark areas. But to get the best of both worlds, I recommend combining the overlays with some of the effects that I just showed you so you can make the footage look more believably nostalgic. And of course, there's no nostalgic vibe complete without the proper music. After going through and using several different music libraries this year, it is clear that in every library, there's always going to be an 80s inspired track. So no matter which one you use, you can find one. In this case, I'm going to add a few from Envato, and now let's soak in the vibes. Now let's talk about the exploding trend that has been happening, especially with social video and vertical reels and TikToks, is the inclusion of animated captions. Now, adding captions on your video has been something that's been important for probably the past 10 years or so, but the stylization of them is something that has been gaining traction this year. Now, as you know, Premiere Pro can auto-transcribe your video in your timeline, and it can auto-generate captions as well. You can also stylize them, but there are no animation presets that come built into Premiere Pro. This is where plugins come in handy. So let's talk about our first one, Submachine. To use this, we need the aid of Premiere's text panel to first transcribe the footage for us, as I was just talking about. Once your sequence is transcribed, let's click on these three dots in the top right, and let's hit Create Captions. And now here, this is where there's a little bit more involved with Submachine. Underneath Preferences, you need to lower the caption length and duration to its lowest, and then choose single lines. With the captions created, make sure to go through and proofread all of the captions to make sure everything's spelled correctly. You can edit them later on, but it's a little bit more involved process to do that, so just proofread first so it'll save you time later down the road. Also make sure that each line only has one word in it, and the timing of the text is in sync with the video. Now it's important to do this because Submachine will use this data inside of our captions to animate each word by word. Then go to the three dots again and export all the captions to an SRT file. So that was just all of the setup of preparing the transcript. And I think a benefit of this too is that you don't need to be connected to the internet to transcribe with Premiere Pro. It can be available offline, which is really, really useful. So now inside of the Submachine plugin panel, after you install it, you will see that there are two boxes here. We're going to drag in first that SRT captions file that we just exported into this first one. And then we need to import a MoGrid file with the animation that we want into the second box. Now, Submachine comes with a variety of different animation styles, and they keep adding more, and they have them in all the different frame rates to match the different sequence frame rates that you might be working with. So my team and I actually customized one of their existing MoGrids to match our Premiere branding, so I'm going to drag that one right here into this field. Now down here, the characters per phrases slider will limit how long each phrase will be. If your video is vertical, you want to move this over to the dark blue side. If you have more space, you can move it towards the right. You can see the recommended aspect ratio on the right as well. So now let's go ahead and let's click Create Subs. And our animated subtitles will start popping up here in the timeline. Now, if you're looking for a more simple option, AutoCut has got you covered. Now, AutoCut can do a bunch of different things like remove silences from your videos, do some zoom ins, and most recently it added auto captions. Now, one thing that sets this apart from Submachine is that you do need to be connected to the internet in order to transcribe your video, but it does it for you automatically. You don't need to export it .srt like we had to do with Submachine. So I recommend exporting your entire edit as one video clip and then putting that video clip in the timeline. Then you can open up the auto cut panel. And from here, you can select auto captions, you can choose your language, and you can choose also if you want it to have emojis inside your captions, which is useful. And then on the next page, it'll show you the transcript, it'll show you a preview of what the captions will look like, and you can make edits and customize how it looks. There are some limitations right now, like you can't edit the transcript, and there are a few formatting things that are missing, but it's still very new. And once you hit apply, it just starts to apply it to your timeline. So there's no dealing with .srt files, there's no dealing with MOGRT files. Everything is generated for you, which I think for somebody that doesn't want to have to deal with too many steps, it is a preferred option in that regard. But a benefit of Submachine is that there's more animation, controls, and stylization that you can create, and you can also customize it further in After Effects to create your own custom looks. Now, these are great tools for captioning directly in Premiere Pro. If you don't want to caption in Premiere Pro, you can always export your video and then use a tool called Descript to create animated captions on your videos. Or you can use the app that I talked about earlier that aligned the eyesight direct to camera, is the Captions app. So you can try captions directly on your phone, and it has its own unique styles to choose from. So as we peer into the future of 2024 video editing, you can see that AI is going to definitely shape a lot of the tools that video editors use. Now, one in particular that I can think of is Envato AI, which takes text to video to a whole new level. It's taking a text prompt and creating a whole video for a specific platform. And right now it just uses stock footage and it uses AI robot voice that actually sound pretty human.
Roll into the black hole and explore your own private planet.
And in the future, you're going to be able to use your own voice through voice cloning to do it. Of course, it doesn't have you in the video, but as I talked about earlier, there's a bunch of video cloning tools now. Could you imagine if the video cloning tools paired up with the AI text to video tools to produce an entire short video from scratch, which is exciting and also kind of scary at the same time. At the same time though, all these new tools are creating so many amazing opportunities for us as creators to really bring to life things that we only would dream of before. And it's more affordable. So let me know what you think about the future of video editing in 2024. Are there any trends that you've been watching? Anything that you can imagine happening in the area of video editing in 2024? Thanks so much for watching, everyone. And Happy New Year! I will see you in 2024. And as always, keep creating better video with Gal. See you next time. Bye.